Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Neca Thanksgiving Ultimate John Carver action figure. Now, Thanksgiving is a Thanksgiving-themed horror film, and John Carver is the murderer in that. I pre-ordered a Neca store a long time ago, and it finally arrived today. So let's take a look at the packaging. There will be no leftovers. Thanksgiving Ultimate John Carver action figure. Here he is on the front, hat, sort of pilgrim's hat, little axe type thing. Thanksgiving, Neca, Thanksgiving on the back. Here's the figure, a bunch of different weapons, sort of old school, America themed. At the bottom, there's the barcode, if that helps anybody. This is one of Neca's ultimate figures. Window box packaging, you can hear the Velcro as I open it up. On the inside flap, here he is holding an axe, and then here he is with all of his accessories. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with 5 alternate hands, totaling 7 interchangeable hands, total 3 different faces, removable hat, he's got a musket, an axe, 2 knives, a mallet, a meat tenderizer, and a pistol. Before taking a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is John Carver. He's basically a Thanksgiving-themed serial killer, which is very unusual for horror films, but kind of cool. So let's take a look. Starting with his face here, he has this mask on, and it kind of looks like an old-school guy, colonial, pioneer type days. He's got all sort of a pilgrim-style hat. Notice a big buckle on the front. His body looks like it's going to share some parts with Michael Myers in that sort of mechanic-type suit. Double-jointed elbows, single-jointed knees. It looks good. We'll check out the reuse a little bit later. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. And here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. Starting off with his hands. He has a total of 7 of them, 3 right hands and 4 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers. Here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands. And his third pair of hands. This is another pair of gripping hands. And I assume they're slightly different, but they look very similar to the previous ones. And he has 1 additional left hand. This is another gripping hand with a trigger finger, but it's a little bit less pronounced. The difference with these gripping hands, one set has the thumb and the fingers attached, and one does not. The one that does not can hold some larger weapons, and the other one's going to have a little tighter grip. Now let's look at his faces. He has 3 of them. 1 pretty standard look, 1 a bloody look, and 1 sort of a darker, dirtied, crying look. Before we look at the faces, here he is without any faceplates on. You can see he has his outfit on, and you can see some of the neck below the sort of ski mask he has on. Then his eyes are sticking out with a really surprised, intense look, and there's a little hole in his forehead to hold the faces. Here's his first face. This one has the most normal sort of look to it, and it doesn't look normal at all. It doesn't look real. That's why it's obviously a mask. Mine has a little bit of black at the very top from the hat. Here's the second mask. This one has blood all over it. He just killed somebody. And his third mask. This one almost looks like his tears coming out the right side, and it looks burnt on the left. Now let's look at his hat. Kind of made of a rubbery material. It's got a little bit of sort of give to it. Hollow, actually fits his head. It's got the buckle on the top. Here's John Carver without the hat on, and then here with the hat attached. Here are his guns. He has a musket and a pistol. Now the pistol seems a little bit too modern for sort of pilgrim type days. Looks like something from World War I. But the musket is perfect, very appropriate. You can see the wood finish, detailing, very nice. Here's John Carver holding the musket, and then here, holding the pistol. And then we have a bunch of sort of blunt trauma or stabbing objects. Here's the large axe, and the mallet. Here's John Carver holding the axe, and here, holding the mallet. And we have yet a few more blunt trauma and stabbing weapons. We have the meat tenderizer and a couple of knives that are different. Here he is, holding the meat tenderizer, and here, holding both the knives. One of which looks like a regular kitchen knife, and the other one just sort of more of a traditional knife. Now to look at the reuse and similarities between the Michael Myers figure and John Carver. On the left, we have Michael Myers from Halloween 2. On the right, from Halloween, 10? The 2018 reboot or semi-sequel, whatever you want to call it. And it is a lot of the same parts. So, take John Carver with Halloween 2. And it's the same torso, of course. This one has some damage. This one is smoothed out. And I'm assuming one day they're going to release a smoothed out version of Michael Myers with this from the first Halloween. But there's some legal issues. You can see the wrinkle on the pocket here, exactly the same. The wrinkle on the arm, very specific, exactly the same there. The collar is popped down on him, popped up on him. And if we go to the legs actually look to have the same wrinkles on them as well. So it looks like it's pretty much, well, it's a little bit different at the bottom. It's come down like this, they're a little bunched up. Then let's take the 2018 Halloween. The wrinkles on the torso are a little bit different, so it looks like it's different than the Halloween 2 version. And if you go to the legs, same wrinkles here. And it looks like he has the bunched up version at the bottom, same as him. So it's sort of a hybrid of both versions of Michael Myers to make it a little bit different, but not even noticeably different. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and its accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 7.6, maybe even 7.7 inches tall, which could translate to about 19.5 centimeters, and his height with a hat on, probably about 8.25 inches. Now for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, you're going to rotate side to side. He can look up and down about that much, not too much. Can tilt his head from side to side at least a little bit. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out a tiny bit less than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got a double jointed elbow and that sort of weird Neca style with that extra piece between the bicep and forearm. There's the top part going in with rotation, and the bottom part. And the bottom part also has rotation. His wrists can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Torso, so you see one solid piece. He does have a little bit of articulation in there, but it's not going to get very much out of that. Legs, complete with splits, ball joints. Legs can rotate independently of the ball. And they go forward quite a bit, back not much. Single jointed knee goes less than 90 degrees back with rotation. Then his ankle, forward and back. Tilt, rock, and rotation as well. No to articulation. Here's a look at John Carver attacking a Thanksgiving dinner. Now let's check him out. Next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other NECA horror figures. Here's John Carver next to all the different NECA Michael Myers figures that I have. We have them from Halloween 2, Halloween 2018, then Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, sharing a lot of the same parts. I'm sort of hoping they make Michael Myers from each of the films, although they look very similar, but there's a lot of legal issues preventing them from happening. And here, with some more modern horror icons, Freddy, Jason, Pinhead, and Leatherface. And with a couple even more modern horror icons, Ghostface Killer and Jigsaw. Then, with some older horror icons, Universal Monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the Mummy. And now, with some even older horror icons, these are from movies that damn near don't even exist anymore. We have Nosferatu and Professor Burke from London After Midnight. Now let's check them out. Next is some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a NECA toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his NECA brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from NECA toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some DST or Diamond Select toys, here's John Carver next to a candle lighter, and here he is with some McFarlane and DC Direct figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, John Carver is kind of cool, although it's a figure I'm only going to bust out around Thanksgiving time. His blank faces are kind of creepy, reminds me of V for Vendetta. His accessories are plentiful, they're very cool and appropriate for Thanksgiving time. Sculpt and paint job, excellent, no issues there, except that stupid little block down the top of my guy's main face. Little paint rub from the hat. His articulation, it could be a little better. He really has nothing in the torso area. I'm not a fan of those Neca double style elbows, where they have this weird piece between the two. Kind of messing with the aesthetic of the figure, and the knees. He doesn't need to be a super articulated figure, but it'd be nice if he had just a little bit more in the hips and the knees and the torso. If I were to rate this figure, I'll probably give him a 6 out of 10. Mainly because a little bit of articulation could be better, and the fact it's a character I don't really feel like I need on the shelf. Don't get me wrong, I willingly bought him, and if I go back in time I'd do it again, but my enjoyment of the figure, probably a 6 out of 10. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.